you are looking for the most efficient way to transform your life in 2024, I've got 3 words for you. Cultivate healthy habits. The habits that you do every single day are the things that are actually creating your life. But in this video, I'm going to be talking more on some high-level habits.
You draw me in slowly, brown eyes stare at me boldly.
Hey, it's Wendy here. Welcome to my channel. I created this channel to connect with like-minded people who are looking to elevate their mindset, inner and outer beauty. So if that sounds like you, definitely hit the subscribe button so we can be besties, okay? If you are looking for the most efficient way to transform your life in 2024, I've got 3 words for you. Cultivate healthy habits. Stick around because in the next few minutes, I'm going to be delving deep into some of the most impactful pieces of advice that have totally changed my life. We'll be talking about some healthy, high-value habits that I picked up from books, from podcasts, from my conversations with highly productive people, and from my own personal experiences. So I know you want to have your best year yet. I know 2024, you told yourself that this year will not pass me by. I have to do X, Y, Z. I have to show up as my best self. I have to build that business. I have to build the multiple source of income. There's so much that we all want to do every single year. We set our vision board, we write our goals, but think about this for a moment. The habits that you do every single day are the things that are actually creating your life. I feel like sometimes people just have this big wish. It's almost like a wish list, but they're not really checking to see the little things they do every single day that is actually creating their lives. Think about this. If you wake up in the morning, you know, the things you do on autopilot, like brushing your teeth, making your bed, drinking your coffee, going for a walk, praying, whatever it is you do in the morning that you just do on autopilot without thinking, those are your daily habits, and those habits are creating your life. So if you think about who you want to be, who you want to show up as in 2024, you have to think about what habits. First of all, you have to ask yourself, who do I want to be this year? Who do I want to show up as this year? What do I want to create this year? And then think about the habits that are currently in your life and see if those habits actually align with the person that you're trying to create, or the life, the goals that you're trying to meet in life. So I made a list of 5 healthy habits that you can cultivate this year to improve on your life, to elevate your life, and to give you one of your best year yet. So now we all know to eat healthy, to possibly wake up earlier, to drink our water, to mind our business. So I'm not going to be going into those. Those are like mostly microscopic habits, and they are lifestyle choices. And I really hope that you're making some good, healthy lifestyle choices. But in this video, I'm going to be talking more on some high-level habits that you can cultivate to elevate your mindset, things that will really get you on the right track. The first habit I'm going to talk about is the habit of leisurely hustling. This term, leisurely hustling, is not original to me. I picked it up from one of the podcasts I listened to, and this is one that I absolutely love. It's called The School of Self-Image by Tonya Lee. So if you're looking for a good podcast to listen to, that's one to try. So the concept of leisurely hustling, let's talk about it. I know that right now, everybody wants to be on their bag. Everybody wants to be standing on business, and everyone wants to level up when it comes to their income. And this has brought a whole new way of hustling. So people now have 2, 3, 4 jobs. People have multiple side hustles, multiple businesses, because we're all trying to create multiple sources of income in order to, you know, create the life that we want, give us the ability and give us the space to live the life that we want. And that is good. I love the fact that entrepreneurs are coming up every day. People are doing great things. People are making more money than ever before. But I feel like now more than ever, people are so stressed out. Like, people are working their self to the bones and just always stressed out, always dealing with anxiety and things like that. And for me, the kind of life I want to cultivate, in as much as I want to cultivate a life where I have financial freedom, but the essence of life to me is I want to enjoy my life. I came to this life for enjoyment. I did not come to this life to suffer. So in as much as I want to stand on business and I want to, you know, create multiple sources of income, I think that having that mindset of leisurely hustling is something that's going to help help you. The one thing I'll say is when you are starting anything or you're hustling for something, you're going towards your goal, you have to think about how is this going to be sustainable down the line. I believe that when you start something, of course, you put in so many hours, but after a while, you have to think about your own lifestyle, your own mental health, your physical health, and really ask yourself, is this lifestyle I'm living now, is it going to lead to a healthier me? Is it going to lead to a happier me? So the concept of leisurely hustling is just the concept of working hard for that bag, working hard for that money, but also prioritizing your rest, prioritizing your peace, prioritizing your self-care, and prioritizing the part of your life that you know that if this part of you breaks down, every other thing falls to pieces. So there's no point me trying to hustle every day and my health is in shambles. So that is one habit that will elevate you this year, just learning to take things slow, learning to progress over perfection, learning to take it one day at a time and not putting too much strain on yourself. So the next habit I'm going to talk about is the habit of being present and frequent unplugging. This one is just, for me, it's one of the number one on my priority lists when it comes to the habit, the things I'm trying to inculcate in my life. Especially now that we live in this digital age, we're always plugged in, we're always watching something, we're always consuming a kind of content. And content, I love consuming content. YouTube is my favorite platform, so I would be on YouTube watching productive videos, educational videos, and just watching things, learning new things, because me, when I'm watching content, I like to watch things that I will actually learn from. Either it's educating me or it's entertaining me. And watching this content and being online all the time is good, but I feel like if you want to level up your life this year, if you want to take that extra step, you need to learn how to be present and how to unplug. And what this means is that, you don't have to be connected online 24/7. I think something has to be said about building a thriving life offline, because right now people are curating their perfect selves and creating the communities they want online, creating the friendships and the aesthetic they want online. But I think we should be spending more time creating the life we want offline, and that is something I'm going to talk about in a whole other video, because you can't be putting so much effort into your digital presence and you're not putting more effort into your physical presence. Being online these days has made it so that we're not present in our lives. We're not enjoying the everyday pleasures of life, and we are more interested in having a curated version of us online than on enjoying that pleasure in real life. So if there is one habit that will elevate you this year, is learning how to stay present in the moment and learning how to frequently unplug. So let's talk about the habit of cultivating high value activities. This is one that will totally transform your life. Think about what you do during your leisure time. Where do you spend your spare time? What do you spend your spare time doing? And I think that cultivating healthy high value habit is one that will totally enrich your life. So let me give you some examples of high value activities. Things like listening to an educational podcast, reading a good book, because reading is actually one of my favorite things, and it's something I used to love doing, actually, when I was younger. But now it's become harder to read. But I see how I've seen the effects in my life from reading. Reading just takes you on a different world, to a different zone. It could be fiction, it could be non-fiction, but I prefer to read something that is educational, like the biography of people that are successful, or reading about something that will help my life. But back in the day, I used to read a lot of romance novels and things, but I just really love written word, and reading is one of those high value activities that you should inculcate in your life. Another high value activity is maybe volunteering. I feel like now we're so me, all about me, look at me, and we're so self-focused. And I think that when we expand our life to showing up for people who really need it, volunteering in church, volunteering in a food bank, volunteering in places where your services will really be useful and help another person's life, that is such a high value activity, and that is something that will totally elevate and just transform your headspace and make you see things outside of just your own view and see life, and help you cultivate empathy as well. Other high value activities are things like spending time outside, investing time with your loved ones, with your friends, and going for a walk, moving your body. Also, one high value activity that is what I'm going to be doing this year is resting your body. In as much as you want to hustle, you have to schedule time to properly rest. Not just resting at night and sleeping at night because you have to sleep at night, but during the day, just schedule time to just sit back, rest. Don't turn on any screen, just relax your mind and rest your mind. Those are some high value activities that you can do that would transform your life and transform how you show up in the world. And one thing that really helps when it comes to cultivating these kinds of inculcating this kind of activities in your life is habit stacking. So I know sometimes you want to, you may not have all the time to just sit down and read a book or listen to a podcast and all of that because you might be busy, you have kids or something like that. But one thing I would say is habit stacking is really huge. Let me give you an example of habit stacking. So say you have to do laundry, you have to fold laundry for the kids. Instead of just folding laundry and just mindlessly watching a show or mindlessly watching something, why not do that while listening to this educational podcast as you're folding your laundry? So that is, you're stacking those two habits together, and in that way you're being more efficient, you're being more effective in your life. So I don't want to keep this video too long. I'm just going to go right into the next two habits. The fourth habit to cultivate this year in order to have the best year possible is to cultivate the habit of intentional thought. So the habit of intentional thought, let's talk a little bit about this. This is the habit of really dedicating time to taking pauses to reflect, taking time to think things through. I used to be culprit of this. I used to be someone that is very spontaneous. I would take decisions on the fly without thinking them through. I would just jump into things. And right now, with multiple responsibilities and things that I'm managing, there's no way I can live that way anymore. So it really, and then listening to a lot of highly productive people, I hear them talking about having thinking time, and I was like, having thinking time, that is smart. Really cultivating time to think about your life or your day or your month. And this is not a time to have busy thoughts in your mind. This is the time to really sit down and have time to craft out time for intentional thinking. And let's just say you want to create, just on the line of what we're talking about, you want to elevate your 2024, you want to have the best year yet, you want to have this year, you want to have that this year. How are you going to do it? Most times we just look at what people are doing, copy what people are doing, but I really think that it's very valuable in 2024 to have a lot of original thoughts, because there are a lot of people doing the same thing the same way. So for example, you want to get into a specific kind of business, or you want to get into a specific kind of thing, it will be great to craft out time to really think about it. How do you come in that is different? What do you bring to the table? And really thinking about spending time with your thoughts and thinking about your values, thinking about how you want your life to be, thinking about where you want to go in the future. The habit of intentional thoughts is very important, and this will make you have much more original thoughts. This will make you have much more clarity about where you're going, what you're doing. One practice that will help you is journaling. Journaling is a practice that I love, and just really sitting down and writing down what's in your mind and putting it to paper, that is a very effective habit to have that would transform your life. And if you inculcate this habit with journaling, what I try to do with journaling is I try to journal about 3-4 times a week. I used to do it every day, but right now I am too busy. And some mornings are just chaotic with school runs and things like that. Some mornings I really don't have time to journal. But if you can spend time journaling, meditating, and if you're a Christian, praying, these will really help you to cultivate intentional thoughts, to have more clarity about where you're going, and to also be more tuned in to yourself. Because I see what happens a lot of times, we're tuned outward, we're looking at what everybody else is doing, we're looking at the steps everybody else is taking, we are so tuned into people's lives and we're tuned out of our lives. So I think that really making that switch and tuning back into your life, tuning back into yourself, checking in with yourself, checking in with your thoughts, checking in with your mindset, and really just asking yourself questions. This could be something you do once a week, once a month. There is no formula to this. It's just something that works for you, but just having time dedicated to just sitting down and thinking and writing out all the things that you're thinking about and really setting a clear tone of how you want the trajectory of your life to be. So if you've made it this far in the video, drum rolls for you. You know, I'm so proud of you because I know that you're committed to being the best version of yourself this year. And we're going to jump right into the fifth and final habit. This habit is the habit of not being reactive. And this is a habit that I picked up from one of my all-time favorite books. And this book is called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. And I read this book, I think I was about 17 when I read this book, back when I was living in Nigeria. And it was a book that totally transformed the way I think. I think it was a pivotal moment in my life because that book really changed my life and got me thinking really differently afterwards. The very first habit is the habit of being proactive. Being proactive is a habit of taking responsibility of your life. And I have a little snippet here from the book. It says, proactive people recognize that they are responsible and they don't blame circumstances, conditions, or conditioning for their behavior. They know they can choose their behavior. Reactive people, on the other hand, are often affected by their physical environment. So they find external sources to blame for their behavior. If the weather is good, they feel good. If it isn't, it affects their attitudes and performance, and they blame the weather. Can you think of anybody like this? I feel like there are some people that I know, there's some people that I've met that they just react to every single thing. So this habit of not being reactive is one that you need to have, you need to master, you need to put it in your bag. Let me tell you why. This world is crazy. Every single day in the news there is something. If you go outside the door, there's somebody acting crazy. Like there's always something that we have to deal with, and there's always an external force. There's always an external thing that we have to deal with. And for me, a rule that I picked up from this book is anything that's outside myself, anything that's outside my control, I will not waste time, energy, or effort really thinking about it. I mean, sometimes I'm human, sometimes I will dwell on some things, but as long as it's outside of my control, I'm not going to spend time worrying or thinking about it. So when you master the habit of not reacting to every single thing, you find out that you're just happier for people, that things don't get to you as much as you used to. And this is one I really had to come to terms with as someone that is very sensitive. If you're a very sensitive person, when someone says something or does something, we dissect it, we personalize it, we read meanings to it. So not reacting to every single thing would really be a game changer in your life. And these are some of the habits to cultivate. And a lot of these habits, as I said earlier, has to do with your mindset, and your mindset is creating everything. So that's it for this video. I hope that you have some takeaways that you want to implement in your life. Let's continue the conversations in the comments. Let me know which of these habits are you going to implement in your life, and I will catch you in the next video.